Well, hey there, friends. It's Wendy. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast. We are going to talk about three things that I think are the top success mindset must haves for you as a retail owner. Do not leave because I talked about mindset. I'm not a woo woo person, but I do believe that running our businesses is 80% mindset, which a lot of us like, I have a positive mindset. I'm fine. Everything's fine. But I'm going to talk about three specific areas that I have seen, I have experienced, I have seen a lot lately as challenges for some of my retailers because running a retail business is hard. We all know that. We talk about it a lot here on the podcast. The reality is, when you're in the trenches, and you've grown the thing, you're not lacking passion, you're not lacking heart, you're not lacking ability to work hard. I know that. But there's a lot, right? We get thrown a lot. And as our business grows, so does our responsibility, so does the challenges that they just happen all the time. And the conversations I've been having lately are actually with retailers that are seeing success. So these are successful retailers that I work with, one-on-one clients, mastermind clients in my Level Up Mastermind, and Inner Circle members that we've had conversations with. But they're finding challenges in handling everything that biz ownership is throwing at them right now. So, and we all have different ones. So, and we're going to go through a few of those today. And I wanted to sort of rein in and talk about the three that I think are the most important by far in running our retail business. So hang tight, grab a notebook, let's go. We're going to jump in today. Running a retail business doesn't have to be so hard. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast, the go-to podcast for creative shop owners, studio owners, and independent retailers. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, retail business coach and mentor. Each week, I'll share simple, proven business strategies, inspiring stories from fellow retailers, and advice from industry experts. Together, we're going to work to find the success you want from your retail business with more profits in your till and a little more joy in your life. Okay, recently on the podcast, I know, it was episode 172. I shared a podcast about circumstances when things go kind of crazy. When our circumstances go sideways, it's called CTFAR. You can go back and listen to that episode. But basically, it's when circumstances happen to us and things happen to us. So I'm not going to go too deep into this number one thing, but let's talk about, and so you can go back and listen to that podcast, and let's talk about why we need to build the resilience muscle. Things are going to happen. And even as recently as just last week, I had a client who sent me a Voxer, a private client sent me a Voxer, and something like she had a big vendor, and maybe you can relate. Maybe you've had this happen before. She had a big vendor who was coming in. She had been promoting it and marketing it as a collaboration. The vendor, like a pop-up shop, was coming into her space, sort of outside, and she had this, has a space, and people were coming from all over, making it a destination, and the person just didn't show up. Like Saturday morning, when all the things are supposed to happen, the person didn't show up, and she was panicking. And things are going to happen to us. We all know, right? We all have the list. Mentally, I can feel you all going through the list. We could have maybe a global pandemic. We could have, maybe you have a flood in your shop, or team members don't show up, or a team member leaves, or you lose clients. We all lose clients, and I don't know, things happen, right? There's just all kinds of obstacles that happen to us. Those are circumstances, and sometimes they're out of our control, but there's also things that happen that are in our control. And we don't talk about this that much, but understanding why we need to build resilience is because we're going to mess up. The more we do things, the more we grow. I got my hand up here. You can't see it, but I've messed up lots of things. So we're going to make bad buys. We're going to make bad decisions. We're going to mess up our cash flow. We're not going to pay attention to the numbers. We're going to let that slide for a few months, and then all of a sudden, what happens? We have to deal with that consequence. We make decisions. So maybe we didn't train our staff and now we're dealing with crap going on in our staff. Maybe we just, I don't know, got a really bad review and it's like really just all feeling like we're attacking either internally or from outside circumstances. So circumstances are going to happen. Decisions and things that other people do, that lady not showing up for my retailer as a vendor, that was a decision that person did. Your team leaving, that's a decision, other people outside of your control. And then there's internal things as well. So how do we build resilience? My first question would be, what do you do when these things happen right now? I want you to ask yourself, how do you react and how do you think when things happen right now? I know that in the past, way before, like it's been a while now, but I used to retreat and hide. I have a client who gets super angry. Like, admittedly, we literally just had that call last week. She just like blows up at all her staff. She freaks out. She just has like, all this anger and reactive. She's reactive. She's fine. I had this same particular client is reactive in front of her staff and her family. So it's been, that was a conversation we were having. I have another client, who said like she just gets super moody and, if I dare say, pissed off at everybody, and she's just kind of like grumpy, right? That's really crap energy to bring to your business. It's also not a great leadership mindset, right? And we know that. And then what do? We beat ourselves up because we know we're doing that. We know we're hiding. We know we're angry. We know we're moody, whatever that thing is. So understanding why we need to build the resilience muscle, the how to deal with crap muscle, if you will, it's going to help us, again, go back and listen to that, CTFAR post or podcast 172, but it's going to help us control our thoughts and our feelings so that we can adapt to change faster, so we can show up as a better leader, so we can bounce back, so we can figure out how to figure it out, right? Instead of just shrinking away or whatever it is. So, and even recently, it's funny, my personal business coach, I work with a lot of coaches. I have a lot of business coaches and still do a lot of coaching because I'm always trying to build that resilience muscle and all the skills muscles. So my business coach recently just shared, that obstacles, how do we turn obstacles into opportunities? And I sort of loved that concept. And how do we face it, right? So, well, that is the first thing. We have to face it. So what's happening? What can we do about it? How do we take action and good, positive action around that? So how do we build that resilience muscle? And so, there's opportunity and we're going to get better. We're not always going to be good at this, by the way. I'm still building my resilience muscle. We're always building it. Maybe you're a real people pleaser, and when some of these circumstances happen, you're just like dumbfounded. Do I sound like I'm coming from experience? Because that's what happened to me. Not dumbfounded, but it's like, I have a positive mindset, and maybe you're thinking that too. I am solution-orientated mindset. Wasn't always, am now for sure. Those are resilience building tools. And I think that it's really important for us all to be working on this. But we have to fix this. If this is a problem that you have, or an area of challenge, let's not call it a problem. Let's call it an area of challenge. You have to look at the obstacle, look at the circumstance, look at the thing that's triggered you, or the thing that's pissed you off, or the vendor that didn't come, and we have to fix it. It is our job to face it and fix it. How do we do that? So how do we build that muscle? And the stronger we build that muscle, I guess the reason, I shouldn't say the stronger, but as we build that muscle, as we get stronger with that, we will move out of that negative thought. We will change that thought pattern right away. Sitting in that negative mindset or whatever, or that reactive mode, is you're not taking action on it. The energy around you is crappy, right? It's going to linger. The problem's going to get worse. It's it's just going to fester, if you will. So taking action right away is your key, and taking positive, proactive action. And, that might mean taking action as in, we have to do some marketing, or taking action as in we have to do a post on our Facebook post right away, or we have to answer that bad review in a positive way, and we can't take this personally. We're not going to be reactive, we're going to be proactive. So if we have a flood that happens, which has happened to several of my retailers lately, it's unbelievable how many people have been dealing with floods. So take a moment, be pissed off, take a moment, be angry, whatever, internally, and then pull up that resilience muscle and say, what are we going to do about it? How are we going to fix this problem? And then we take action, we take proactive, and we can turn it into an opportunity. As my coach, and again, my coach is April Stroink. I know people always ask me after the podcast, what coach are you talking about? It's April that I'm talking about right now. She recommended for an obstacle that I had one time. She said, okay, look at the pros and cons of, instead of like sitting in action, which is what happened to me. She's like, okay, look at the pros and cons. Let's look at the pros and cons. What could happen here? What could happen there? I did that, worked through it, felt good. So you have to build that resilience and positive mindset. It is the only way that we can get stronger at it. We have to maybe it'll help us be better in the future. We'll have plan Bs. Maybe we can just let it roll off our back, right? The bad review, you're like, yep, it's going to happen. Let it roll. I'm not going to dwell on that anymore. It's moving on. It's taking energy. We're going to be stronger for it. So one of the biggest things that you can do to help build your resilience, in my opinion, is making sure that you're surrounded by people who also are building those resilient muscles, if you will. Other leaders who are also doing the hard things of, dealing with all this crap and stuff. And again, some things are major. A flood is major. A bad review is not major, but it feels major. And we're all at different stages. So I love to suggest that, we really look at surrounding ourselves with other people who are building those resilience muscles. This is what we do inside the Retailers Inner Circle. By the way, there is a large group of people who are helping you maintaining the belief in your own ability to overcome obstacles is so important. And there's other people there to help you. And it's really important at the very end of the day for us to think about focusing on the end results that we want. So do we want to have cranky energy around our shop and all negative and, oh, woe is me kind of energy? Or do we want positive energy, leadership energy, that type of energy and solution mindset? And if that's the type of resilience muscle you're trying to build, I am going to tell you that that's what we're doing inside the Retailers Inner Circle. So that is a great place to surround yourself with other people who are building those muscles. But circumstances are going to happen. So I want you to remember that resilience, number one thing that we need to make sure that we are focused on as a success-minded retailer. So that's going to be the first one. And I see this all the time. I work with all kinds of retailers right now that are just really understanding how important that is. All right, number two, and I would say in our top success mindsets. And this one is the one that I get a lot of, I don't want to say pushback, that's not the right word, because even resilience, we get pushback. But it's understanding the mechanics and understanding the foundations of your retail business, the things that make your business move forward. So you probably are really good at, you're probably amazing at the customer service side and the product side, and you're not looking at the mechanics. And the mechanics, I guess what I mean by the mechanics are making decisions by data, and this is something I had to learn the hard way. It was really hard for my mind to say, okay, Wendy, you have the guts and, you have the guts to take risks in making decisions for my business. And how did I do that? Well, I looked at the data. I looked at the risk and rewards. I made decisions of growing my team or bringing in products, or, pros and con lists are really important. And so this is when I say the mechanics, I mean how your business operates. How is it moving, like where's the money going, understanding you can't take any kind of risk or make any kind of decisions in your business, in my opinion, at this stage, after running all of the businesses I do and working with all of the clients that I do. You cannot make decisions if you don't know the facts. Right? We think we know the facts. I always thought I did. It's like, oh, this sounds like a good idea. Let's move forward. And, what could that look like? Because that's something I share a lot. I'm a big believer in vision and dreaming and moving forward. But how do we do that if we don't know what the math looks like or what? And nobody likes me to talk about the math, but really, I didn't like to talk about the math. But if we don't understand the data or how that's going to affect other things, the risk that we're taking, and the rewards that we can get and the balance of all of that, we really can't make decisions properly, in my opinion. So if there are changes that you want to make and you want to be proactive about them instead of reactive about them, what are the things that you need to look at? So maybe you're looking at moving your shop. Let's just, like getting a new store, moving into a new location. What are the things that you need to know, the mechanics that you need to know to make that decision? Well, we all jump to, it's on a good street and it's a good location and it's really pretty and it's got great lighting, and all of that is important in my opinion. But what are the costs? How much revenue do we need to make? What is the sales per square foot we have to do? All of that stuff we don't want to really look at. And that's what I feel, that's what I mean by the decisions. So, what does our revenue need to increase to? What percentage of our revenue will we be putting to our rent? Maybe we want to go to the bank and get some funding, but we don't have confidence maybe in how to speak to the banker or our accountant or the lawyer. And we just don't really, we know our store's good, we know we make money, people are coming in, they're spending money, we're, whatever, all the things are happening, we have team, things are growing, things are buzzing, we just need some more money for inventory, yada, yada. But we lack the confidence because we lack the knowledge maybe of how to speak to the bank. What are the numbers that we need to know? What are the projections? Oh my gosh, like that makes me want to like vomit a little bit in my mouth, right? So those are the things that we really need to make sure we are doing. So when I say understanding the mechanics, it's really the foundations. And when I say mechanics, I kind of mean the math, but I don't like talking about the math, but that's important because we need to understand those numbers. So maybe it's reaching out for help. So understanding, can I afford help? Can I, should I or shouldn't I? What are the decisions that you're trying to make in your business, and how will that help your business? Because there's amazing things that you can do, decisions that we can make. Moving, let's go back to that moving, or maybe hiring a coach, or maybe that means, maybe you wondering if you can join the inner circle. Well, what does that look like? What are the risks and rewards of doing that? And just for the record, there's no risk if you join us inside the Retailer's Inner Circle. If we are not your cup of tea, you can leave anytime. And I honestly, I don't have this written down anywhere, but I promise you, if you cannot make your investment, your monthly investment of $57 back, I'm going to tell you right now, just send me an email and I will, either you're not doing your job or I'm not doing my job. But sometimes we're also just too unsure of what we need, right? So we haven't actually we don't understand the mechanics of our business. So that's one of the things that we really work on inside the Retailer's Inner Circle. One of the first modules we suggest, I'm a big believer in, you take what you need from the inner circle. Not everybody's in the same place. We don't have like this path you have to take in order to be in the inner circle, but we have modules that we suggest and we tell you why we suggest them. And maybe there are things that will be, they will highlight to you. And one of them is in our module around money mindset, or not mindset, but money matters is what we call it. And it's part of my Retail Made Simple course, which is living inside our Retailer's Inner Circle. It's the second module. It's the one that people are afraid to press play on because we talk about the money and the mechanics of the money side of it. And people are like, oh, I love that. I understand it. And that's why I created that resource, to be honest, because nobody explained it to me and I didn't really understand the retail mechanics. But anyhow, that's all inside the Retailer's Inner Circle, module number 2. But really, what I really want it to help you with, and what I really want this mindset to be, this particular Number two, our mindset of success for retail is really understanding where's your money going, what are the opportunities available to you, what do we need to do if we do A, what do we need to do to do B, right? If we move this shop and we go there, what does that look like? And what does that look like usually for most of us? Like, as I said, in our head, it's decisions, it's around how it feels, how it looks, what our customers will think, all wonderful things and all really important. But what does that look like on the math side? And a lot of retailers, and if this is you, are kind of squirmy around that. And that's okay. That's where a lot of people live. So don't feel uncomfortable about that. Take control of it. Make a decision. Make a decision to learn. Which brings me to our third our third and final success tip. And that is really being open to learning and growing and changing. And that is a big thing. A lot of us are like, no, we're fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine the way it is. We have good customers. We have a good shop. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. If it's fine, you wouldn't probably be listening to this podcast looking for tips to make things a little bit, we can always make things better. First of all, let me just tell you, you cannot stay still. If everything is fine the way it is right now, I think that's amazing. And I'm so happy for you. But it's not going to be fine forever. We always need to be adapting and changing and growing. So when I say learning and growing and being open to change, like, we need to make sure that the words that don't come out of our mouth are yeah, but I don't have the time for that. I don't have the money for that. Making excuses, those are excuse building, and they are not leadership building. They are not success mindsets. So this is the mindset I want you to shift. Being open to seeing how else it could be done, being open to, having a conversation with your accountant and having the wherewithal, to be honest, to go back to that, the last thing I said, making decisions and taking in information from other people and being able to make decisions that work for your business. So we've booted the yeah, but mindset to the curb, right? And now we're open to listening to suggestions from our accountant, which may or may not be good, because I will tell you, accountants shouldn't run retail businesses, but they can certainly guide you. But maybe it's being open to hiring a coach. I have so many clients who come to me and they want to hire a coach, and then everything I suggest or everything we discuss or everything they want to do, and it's like, yeah, but. And I'm like, well, I can't help you if you're in a yeah, but mindset. So you have to have that mindset of, oh, okay, I never thought of it that way. That's how I grew my business, by, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I didn't know that it could be better and easier and, more fun. I was going to say funner. Funner's not a word. I know. So anyway, but maybe being open to those who have already been there, being open to listening to other group members, like inside our retailers inner circle. I love seeing the conversations that happen. And I literally saw that today. Somebody said, oh, I never thought of it that way. That's so brilliant, from another member inside the retailers inner circle. Maybe it's being open to listening to your team. We don't have to take everything that they suggest. We all know they don't always know. They don't know the mechanics, because you know the mechanics now, because you've been open to the mechanics and you're looking at all the things. But sometimes we cross our arms and we oh, silly Susie, you don't know what you're talking about. But are you open to your team coming to you? Are you listening with open ears to what they are saying and suggesting? And are you processing it? Do you have a mindset of being open to your people? Maybe it's being open to just listening to this podcast and thinking about things differently, or looking at books. We business is hard, and we have a tendency to resistance to change, right? I am that person. I believe it or not, I am that person. Sometimes I'm fearful sometimes of change. I'm fearful and resistant to it, but I have an open mind to it, and I'm trying to be resilient in my thinking of business, and I'm really learning the mechanics of my business. And if we can say these things and the mindset things, and we're open to coaching, and we're open to understanding things, that's where true growth happens. That's where we learn to push through some maybe resistance and that fear. And this growth only happens when you are open to what's possible for you and your business. I have seen amazing things happen with retailers who are finally ready to be open to doing things differently. To maybe it's just about remerchandising. Maybe it's just about putting new lighting in. Like I had a client that kept saying, yeah, but we can't put lights up in there. I'm kind of digressing here, but this is an actual thing that happened. Being open to being coached around, well, that's a really dark corner in your shop. Maybe you need some lighting. Well, I can't do that. We just don't have the time, we don't have the money, we don't have whatever, the wherewithal. Yeah, but. Well, we challenged her as a group, myself as the coach, and inside the inner circle, several other people said, oh, it's too bad that you weren't open to putting lighting there. And just that shift in conversation, and she's like, I'll try, So $45 later, a new light was put in that corner. And she came back in the group and humbly apologized for not thinking that, she could do that. And it was working. That corner was becoming the hot spot in the shop. Like her sales per square foot were like crazy in that corner because she was open to change. So what's possible for you? I see in the inner circle, I see retailers who have already done the thing, who are helping other retailers leapfrog. I often joke, and you hear me say, compressing decades into days, or, decades into quick fixes. Why are we struggling so hard? Why are we not open to coaching? Why are we not open to changes? Why are we not, why are we resisting understanding new ways of doing things? And maybe you're resistant to new technology, like maybe, AI and all this is like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not even going to use the AI in Canva because I'm afraid, or whatever it is. There are alternative solutions to where you are right now in your business, and we don't know them all. I don't know them all. Goodness gracious, I'm personally, I have dozens of coaches, and, I invest time on, going to. The biggest shifts in my business have come in my retail business. And previously, I know a lot of you know I had a coffee shop and a service industry, always came from going to trade shows and joining masterminds and listening to books and consuming and feeding my mind, my business mind, so that I continuously learn and improve. And this is what I see with my retailers as well. This is what I see. If you are a Level Up Mastermind member, this is what you're doing. If you are an Inner Circle member, this is what you are doing. Constantly improving and understanding that growth only happens when we push through that resistance and fear of change and take that leap, right? And see what's possible. So I want to encourage you, if you've been, hesitant at all about this, ask yourself, why are you not open to this change? And that's the first mindset that we have to really figure out. And, this will change your business. This will change your business. The mindset part of being open to changes, to coaching, to taking, information from other people and thinking about what's possible for you. And it will also change the way you collaborate with other people, other businesses. It'll change the way you talk to your team, and that you are more open to being open to change with your team members. It's also possibly going to change how you are open to what happens at home. Right? Our business lifestyle, our business will change when we're just open to changing different things. So I just want one tiny little story. I know I'm going on, but one tiny story is that I have a client who, everything had to be done a certain way, and she didn't have boundaries around it. And she made the decision, because her family had a lot of things going on, and she made a decision that her time off was her time off. And what that means is, because of a family issue, she no longer wanted her team to contact her while she was home, her time off home. And there was a whole lot of reasons around it. I was trying to make this story a short story, but the thing that changed was her willingness to trust her team and be open to that change happening, trusting her team, being able to say, okay, I need to focus on my family. She had some illness in her family she had to take care of. And so, when I'm at work, I'm at work. And when I'm home, I want my team to take care of it. And guess what? It took a lot of coaching around her. I will tell you, it took a lot of coaching around to have that happen. But when it did, it's been magical watching that happen. The team is more proud and like she's happy. She doesn't get calls at home. I mean, of course, if something major happens, they contact her. But really, on the day to day, they don't contact her. And that was simply a mind shift of her being open minded about change, open-minded about the suggestion that I gave her to do that, open-minded about, thinking that her team were going to be okay and everything was going to be fine. So I hope that this has helped you. So we're looking at the 3 mindsets of resilience, really, really understanding why that's important, and really, really focusing as a leader on our resilience as we grow our business. The second one was understanding and being, be a badass about understanding the mechanics of your business. And if you don't understand something, I want you to add the words yet to the end of it. I don't know how to do this yet. That's a great mindset tool. Like that's actually what I teach. One of the modules inside our Retailers Inner Circle. I don't understand it's or I'm not good at numbers and all of that stuff. I'm not good at it yet. I'm just not good at it yet. I'm working on it, right? We're all working on this mindset stuff and working on our skills levels daily. And last but not least, having an open mind and being open to change, being open to taking on information from other people, being open to so many other things. And this is a hard one for a lot of people. I'm going to tell you, I always find it funny because this seems like it should be like the easiest, but they're all hard. These 3 things are all hard to work on. So, let's build that resistance muscle. And I got my muscles out here right now, guys, and be open to change. So these are things that we do inside the Retailers Inner Circle. These are things we talk about. These are the types of tools and resources that we have for you. We have guidance. We have a community to help you. And it's also why I created the Retailers Inner Circle. I really didn't have any support from me when I was running my independent shop, and I didn't know, what to do and how to do it, and and who do I surround myself? Who else is hanging out and doing all this stuff, right? So the people inside our Retailers Inner Circle, the members inside that inner circle, they're all passion-filled, heart-centered, brick and mortar, amazing humans helping other humans. So, I want to give you a challenge or an action step for you today. If you are already a Retailers Inner Circle member or a Level Up member, I know you're already doing most of these things and you're already working on that mindset. This is probably not even new information for you, but really to check in on our leadership mindset and where do we need to spend a little more time. So if you're a member already, I want you to check in on your leadership mindset of those 3 areas. Where do you need to spend a little bit more time to get a little stronger with that? Because maybe, we all creep sets in, right? So if you're not a member of the Retailers Inner Circle, I want you to come join us right now. I would love to see you inside there. Again, there's no risk. All there is reward. If you don't like it, you can leave. We don't tie you to a commitment and tie you to a post and make you stay forever. That's not how we roll. And I guarantee you, being open to being a better leader and to learning these skills. And again, there's areas of our business that we're all working on at all times. We're all working on it, myself included, coaching and skill building and learning new things, because nothing stays still. The Retailers Inner Circle is a great place for you to come and to join us. And so I would love for you, the doors are open right now. We would love to see you inside the Inner Circle and help you end this end of year. If you're listening to us in October of 2023, we're going to end this year really strong, but the resources are always there. The library is open for you. You can go and dabble in and ask questions and join us in our roundtables, and we're there to support you, again, with resources, tools, guidance is really important, and the community is there to help you leapfrog through all of these things and to help you grow a stronger, resilient mindset. Thanks for listening today. Have a really, really great rest of the day. If you have the opportunity, please subscribe to this podcast or share it with one of your fellow biz BFFs. That'd just make my day, honestly. I would love it if you would share this podcast with just one retailer, one biz BFF that you have. Thanks for listening. Again, have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you next week. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm so glad that you're here to join us this week, and I hope you found value in what we're sharing here. I want to remind you that our website has all of the show notes. You can find it at wendybatten.com/podcast. Everything that you need to hear about today's podcast is there. Also an opportunity if you need to reach out to me. If I can support you in any way whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for joining us. Please leave a review, subscribe if you can, and never miss an episode. We hope to see you back here again next week. Thanks, my friend. Have a great week.